Hey everybody! Everybody, go UNR
Sweet 16 against Loyola Chicago. If we win this game, they will be in the Elite Eight for the first time in program history. I think it's only the second time in Sweet 16, and that was 2004. So
absolutely, yeah. So cheers. And what we're doing today is we're dancing closed work on a crowded dance floor. And since they put us in the closet last week, we decided to actually use a closet.
R. Kelly trapped in the closet. 35 likes, and the ballroom gives us a ring.
That's right. So today we're gonna work on the closed combination that we did, and we're gonna talk about. We have a question. We have a nice question on the website. So just remember, go to the website betterwestcoastswing.com and read the blogs. There's a lot of great information that we're just started putting on there, and West Coast Swing guys on our YouTube channel. So so be sure you like it, share it, dislike us, doesn't matter. We're just doing this for you, so we're going to talk about this stuff today. So let's ask the question first. Perfect. And anytime you guys have questions, please put them on the YouTube channel. That gets people having a conversation. The blog is great too, but it's better on the YouTube channel, and we'll cover it on the channel. So this is a question by Paul. It said, because there was an article we had on there called Posting. We don't need no stinking posting in West Coast Swing Dance Moves. Yeah, right. That was great acting. So anyways, so it was the article was about, yes, we do need posting. Now people talk about posting. I've heard people say about posting that we don't post anymore, and my jaw dropped to the floor when I heard that. I'm like, yeah. Go ever watch them dance? Because the post, we may say the post is on 4. We feel in a traditional style of swing, the post is on 4, and the hands aren't going to move, and we'll talk about that in the article more. But a lot of guys don't know about a post. A lot of guys don't. They think they're posting, but they're doing this like. So if I'm leading, they'll do whatever they're going to do, and then they go like, and they kind of stalk the girl because they think they're posting, but they're not. Or they end up doing their hands. They go in here and it goes 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they push their hand all the way out there. So the question that Paul had was, well, I'll read his question. It said, nice article on how a follower responds to a post. If a leader does not post, how would a follower respond? Can you describe what a leader does with his body to indicate a post? So first of all, he said nice article. Thank you very much. So what was the question?
If a guy doesn't post, how would a girl respond?
Okay, she would just keep moving. Now, girls, followers, you're responsible for finding connection. That's it. You're going from point A to point B in your slot, and you want to find your connection. So if Mr. Matt were to lead me, say a left side pass. So scoot forward just a little bit, right? So it's a crowded floor. We're working on crowded floor syndrome. So as he goes, and he doesn't stop the 4. All right. So he goes 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. I'm probably out of the shot. I kept moving until he finally posted. So if we're just doing this last part right here, and I'm 4, and he doesn't post me, well, I'm just going to keep moving back until he does. And then as soon as he does, I find that connection, I open, because he's going to eventually, girls, he's going to have to stop and redirect for the new pattern for the 1. So don't worry that he's going to, but oftentimes what guys do when they don't realize they're not posting, they get behind the beat. They don't realize that, so if I'll lead you. So if we're doing through this and he goes, doing under, so we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, and 1. He starts trying to move back and he pulls. Okay, so yeah, we got out of the shot on that. So a little bit, but the idea is, girls, you just keep going. So I hope that makes sense. You keep looking for your connection. How does a leader? What does he do with his body in order to indicate? The simplest way to say this is your hand, your left hand, and your foot are going to stop on the 4. Now the reality is, if you were to stop on 4, it's too abrupt. Okay, there's a breath into the and beat. So if you were dealing with counts, the way a basic rolling count is and a 1 and a 2, if you just think of the 1 and the ones and the beats and the and beats, the and is where we're on top of our foot on a basic song, right? So we're behind the music, doesn't matter what kind of dance you're doing, it's 1 and 2 and. So if I were to do a sugar push and I go 1, 2, stop on 4, and I stop my hand, well, my partner is not going to leave their hand here, even though they know they're supposed to have their elbow by the rib. He's probably going to overextend the hand because I was too abrupt, I stopped it. So this time I'll breathe with it, 2, 3, and 4, and so on the and of 4 is where I actually stop. Now you'll notice, if you can see my feet, my right foot is in a 3-toe base. So guys, I've got a 3-toe base just like a follower would, and I haven't finished my 4, I'm not on it yet. Now, when I go to the and, I'm on it, and then 5 and 6. So I set it up, excuse me. So that breath through 4. Now, one of the things I do inside my body when I'm creating a post is I start redirecting my center. My coach always tried to get me moving back on 5 through my body, but not my feet or arms. But so my body is starting to pull back right before I set it up. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now right here on the 4, I'm drawing my center back into my back. I'm pulling my head weight back, and I'm really setting up to feel a connection from my partner. The moment I don't do that is the moment I overextend. So when we post, that's super important, guys. But if you choose to what I call drift the post, now I could go sideways, and I can go backwards, but the partner can't come back to me. And so when we do an anchor on 6, so I'm going 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, and we stretch. Now you'll notice my partner all the way to 6 had their elbow here. So because the elbow is here, that's where it belongs. It's not until I actually stop the hand 6 and does the arm extend through squeezing the left.
Yeah.
Right? Anyone to add to that?
So I get this question actually a lot too about if I don't post or people who don't post. And the important thing to note is that there's impossible to not post. If I threw a ball straight up in the air, when it changes directions, there's a moment that it stands still. And that's what we're going to refer to as a post, is the moment that we stand still before we redirect. So the question is really twofold.
It still doesn't mean static.
Right. It's how clear do I want my post to be, and how clear do I want my lead to be with my follow, and B, how much freedom do I want to give her to do. So when we talk about follows playing, it's easier to play in the anchors. So if you give your follow a triple to anchor and play with, she's going to have a lot more freedom, a lot more early, in order to start playing and seeing what she says in the music, rather than dropping it on the 6. But know that you're always going to have a post. Sometimes you can have one that's too late because you pulled and you've gone too early or too late back there. So just know that you're going to find that post, try to make it clear, and so that's why we suggest that 4, hit that stopping point, let her have a freedom and a breath to gather herself, and then move again.
So if you don't know what a post is for, if you've never heard of a post, go ask your teacher, because there's a great article on BetterWestCoastSwing.com.
It's at least a nice article. We've heard accolades from Paul already.
But what the post does is it actually tells your partner where the end of the slot is. Can I tell her the end of the slot is over here on 6? Yes, but what you've done to her, which is totally cool, but you've taken away any option she really has. She could do a little bit of syncopated footwork on the way out there. But if we stopped on the 4 here, we hit the 4, girls, what you're going to notice that my hip weight goes past my foot. So, because I need a 4 and we'll talk about that in another video about the rolling count, but my connection is now my partner could literally take me that way, or I could take my partner. I can do one of the things. Or we could do something that goes more forward towards the camera. So that posting action, guys, is telling her this is the end of the slot. Girls, do not come forward on that. Even if I were to do some footwork where I'm forward, like we did last week, I did not go this way. All right? I did a check, but my connection stayed 100% right there. Okay? So let's get to the pattern. So how's the pattern start? Oh yeah. So we did. So we were just grooving. Right? And it was just doing taps. We're just going 1. And now, did you know? If you noticed, that was our starter step. We did not do triple, go. Right? We want to groove more, and we could groove and then do the triples, but we just took the triples out of it. So we're just grooving, and we just counted to 8. That's just kind of a nice little number, keeping everything simple. Scooch forward a little bit. Okay, and then we did sugar push. Now guys, a sugar push in closed position is on the rails. Your feet are on the rail, girls in the slot. I'm pulling my head back, I'm freeing up my knee here, and I'm going 1, 2. Now you'll notice, girls, it looks like I'm going past my partner. Well, the reality is his chest is on a diagonal, so I'm not past him, but I'm committed to my 3, like always. You'll notice my right leg is straight, and then he sends me back, and whatever the numbers are, 5 and 6. And now, real important, ladies, do not lower your heel until the end of 6. If you do this in 5 and 6, and we go quick, 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 hold, he has nothing to work with, okay? Because that's going to make sense on the next pattern. So we do the sugar again. And now, guys, it's by the way the same thing. The guy moves past his foot on 6, and so his heel doesn't even lower until 1 because he's already past his foot. So as we go 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, and 1. Right? Now, what we're going to do from here is that we did the
pulse.
Bump, the pulse. It's a delayed rhythm. That's what I call it. But we call it a pulse. Girls, if you're too fast on lowering your heel on this, you will not be able to get led in this very well. You may have your heel down. Go ahead and try it wrong. I'll do it wrong. So we got 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. So he just kind of pushed me back past my foot. So that's not really the pulse I'm trying to get. But if I slow that 6 down and go to and, so it's 5 and 6, and he could push me back. And so he literally lowered my heel on the end of the and into the 1 and 2. Okay, then we're going to do it again. Pulse it 1 and 2, 1. And you'll notice, followers, my heel is still up a little bit. So the feeling of this is I'm not anticipating anything. I'm just never going to slam my heel to the floor, right? So we'll do it one more time, and then we'll go to the next part. So we got, do the
sugar push.
Yeah, we'll just go from right here all the way back here. So
we planned this out so far in advance.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
So it goes 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, and a 1, and 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Pop and fresh. Now right here, he's set me up, guys. He's taking his hand all the way to the left rail. He's going to spin me and catch me. It's a really tight floor, so we're not going to go past that picture. We're spinning, girls. We're spinning. Do you notice how his hand stayed on my back the whole time? It was very lightly touching the wrist and our hand. We'll get it. And so from here, he's going to do a rock and go. He's going to check me. Check, girls. Watch my heel. It doesn't slam to the floor. If I slam to the floor, it's done. But if I control and I feel that resistance, and here he's going to do a tuck. And he's using his left hand to the tuck. Right hand, sorry. And so this hand really isn't needed, but as he goes through, you got to go for that. You got it back in the camera shot.
Yeah.
So we got 3 and 4. Now he's going to spin me, and he's going to catch me, okay? Now he chose to cross his leg over, which is totally cool. Or, so let's go back this way a little bit. Or he could just step sideways. So let's do tuck one more time. So, and step sideways on that one this time. So it goes 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then right here, he's here. And he's just got to move far enough so the girl can get her hit here. Now he's going to spin me, and he's going to pick me up because we're on a crowded floor, and he's going to come back to the rail, okay? So now from here, let's just do the whole thing one more time from this shot. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, 1, and 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, 1, 2, he spins me, he checks, tuck. That was a shitty tuck for me. So, all right. So
we're a little too crowded this way too.
But it's a crowded floor, and that is what happens. It happens all the time when you're on a crowded floor. People are like, oh, I don't want a big floor. No, man, so you ever been to a club? The best way to learn how to dance, actually, I'll throw his name out, Kyle Red. I remember doing some lessons with Kyle, and I asked him, I said, how did you learn to move your body, use your body? And I don't think I'm giving any away. He was talking about he used to go to these clubs that were not swing clubs, they were just clubs. And he would do swing, but when it got crowded, he realized he couldn't do big swing. So he started using his body and learning how to move his body in a small crowded room, and that is truly the best way to do it, because you're like, okay, you force your room to get smaller, you can't move big. And if you're looking at swing, it's small. East Coast swing, jive, Lindy, all the dances, we're the only dance that gets people, we just get so friggin' big that it kind of loses the look of swing. Back in the day, there's on BetterWestCoastSwing.com plug. There is a video I posted on one of the articles about West Coast swing in the 90s, and it looks like swing. It's fast. Lindy Hoppers didn't used to make fun of us back then. He's a Lindy Hopper because they call us the slow swing. And I like that we can dance all different speeds. So keep it tight, keep it close. Now, guys, I'm going to give you some real tip. I'm going to call it a day here. Is if you really listen to music, you would never ever let your partner away from you in the first 20 plus beats of the song after the intro. If you listen to music, it'll start to expand. When the music starts to expand, that's when you want to get apart from your partner. But oftentimes we see everybody do a little starter step, and next thing you do a little starter step, do. Now they're apart from each other. So boom, we're apart right away. We're dancing like this, or don't even do a starter step at all, and we go and just start like this. Okay, and one, right? So don't pick your girl up. Every pattern you do in open, you can do in closed. Every single pattern, whips even as well. So there's all these great things. So guys, is there anything else?
Yeah, one more thing just for my guys. Because I see this so often when I go out dancing. Yeah, the guys out there.
My guys.
Our guys.
No, go ahead.
Blah, blah, blah.
Go ahead.
I need you.
Okay.
If I'm going to be dancing in clothes, we talked about being on the rail. Don't square up like you were in the slot. It's super awkward. It feels awkward for her. She has breasts. Don't crowd in on those. Open up a little bit so that your heart is still on your partner.
Number one
and
thing,
not on her shoulder.
Both of you, never take your heart off of each other. Leave your heart toward each other. Even when I'm in girls' I'm here in prep, my heart is turned to him. Okay? So that's the same thing. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So yeah, as I'm walking, you'll see right into the doorway. What you'll see is that my feet are at a mild angle. I'm stepping on a 2x4. And
I'm from Indiana. It's a 2x4, yes.
So I'm stepping back in a straight line, but I am not trying to square myself up with the slot because I'm no 100%. Longer in the slot.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. You're so smart. He's so smart.
Looks on everything.
That's right. All right, everybody. Okay, thank you for watching and putting up with us, and I hope this helped. Dancing on a crowded dance floor, and we wanted to shoot the whole thing in the closet, but we couldn't get it in there. So hopefully this is good enough. It makes sense of how tight this is. So please do us a favor. Please go below and hit like, hit dislike if you want. Leave a comment. Please share, but leave a comment. Let's get some conversations going about all this stuff, and let's talk about it and share it with other people, and so other people can respond and reply as well. On what they have, how they would do something differently, or a post or whatever.
So yeah, remember, swing to the community. So
absolutely,
pretend like this is part of the community.
Absolutely,
talk, make it a forum.
Yeah, we love you guys and girls, and we thank you so much for putting up with us. And go to BetterWestCoastSwing.com and take care of the blogs and everything else. So guys, so everybody, sorry.
Thank you.
So I'm going to kill you. All right. So everyone, have a wonderful, wonderful day, and please, as always, be a good human.
I can't believe I ran into the door.